Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started here. And this morning we'll be talking about the Social Security claiming strategies that Dave Pemper has a great seminar system on. I know Dave's been very successful by using this seminar program, so we'll be going over that information here this morning. We do appreciate joining Dave here this morning for this morning's webinar. Any questions you have along the way, just be sure to get those asked on your system there, and we'll be glad to get those taken care of for you. And if you have anything that you need on your ends, just give us a call. We'll be glad to help you out, and everything you need, we'll be glad to get those done along the way here. And I know Dave's been involved with IMS here for the last 10 years plus. Dave's done a great job on his coaching programs. He's definitely done a fantastic job in getting individuals from one level of production to much higher levels of production. So we do appreciate Dave's help on doing that. And Dave is really specialized in doing seminar selling the last 30 years and has really done a great job in getting clients into seminars and, of course, making sales based on those clients attending his meetings. So a great turnkey system that Dave offers on the seminar marketing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I know that we at IMS provide a all expense paid 2-day training program, and I know that we put this on typically about once every quarter, and we just held one here about a couple weeks ago, and we had about 40 agents in on the last meeting. We typically bring in between 35 to 45 agents to each one of our life and annuity academies. We go over a lot of different sales ideas. We go over different marketing concepts on both life insurance and the annuity side. If it's something you would have interest in attending in 2017, just mark yes off on the poll there. We'd be glad to get you signed up, get you going on that, and hopefully we can bring you into one of our meetings in 2017. You do have to be contacted through IMS with one of our annuity carriers. Typically, one of our carriers puts these on. You have to be licensed with that specific carrier in order to attend. We take care of all of your travel costs. We take care of all your food. Everything is taken care of at the meeting itself. So I know we do probably will have one coming up sometime in March or April. And then typically our second one's going to be sometime in June. So if that's something you do have interest in attending in 2017, mark off yes. We'll be glad to bring you in. We're bringing a number of our top sales people will also be attending. You'll be getting some valuable sales information from them. They've got some great information they can pass along what they use in the field to get in front of more clients and to close more sales. So I think it's definitely worth your time on attending one of our meetings. And I know that Dave typically does attend our sales conferences, so he'll be at that Life and Annuity Academy also. A good chance for you to meet Dave one-on-one. If you have questions on anything you hear during any of Dave's regular Tuesday morning webinars, Dave would be more than happy to get those answered for you and get you taken care of on that side. Again, if you do have any questions this morning, you can go ahead and get those asked on the system here. We'd be glad to get those taken care of for you, and we'll get things going here. And again, we do hold about 3 or 4 of these meetings a year, and our 2017 dates locations will be finalized probably the first quarter of 2017. So we should have all the information available for you based on the upcoming meetings we have in the next year. I'm going to go ahead and close up this poll here. And if you didn't answer yes, we'll be contacting you to kind of go over what we offer based on those meetings. We continue to offer our new producer bonus program. It's a great system we have. You can earn additional incentives based on production your first 90 days of being licensed. We have 3 different levels you can attain. There's a $100,000 level, a $300,000 level, and a $500,000 level. And basically, the more business you do, the bigger the value is of the item that you choose based on your level of production. At the $100,000 level, we've got your cash bonus available. You got the iPad. You got the 2-year subscription to the website. At the $300,000 level, we have a turnkey Social Security mailing system. We also have a marketing matching fund we'll do for you based on your production. And there's also a $1,500 gift certificate. At the $500,000 level, you have 2 different coaching systems, one by Dave Pemper, one by Matt Gill. And then we also have our Ritz-Carlton getaway program. So definitely some nice incentives you can earn based on your production early on with IMES. So definitely something to look forward to. We also continue to offer our referred producer program. We pay you for your referrals. You get $50 for every referral that gets contracted with IMES. You also receive an override on their business. You'll receive 20 basis points based on their production. So if you have a client that an referring agent does $1 million with us in this next year, you will earn $2,000 based on that referral. So great way for you to earn additional cash based on your fellow agents you refer to us. And I know we've been a great successful program going on that. We have agents that get $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a quarter based on the referrals. So definitely something to take advantage of if you have not done that yet. We also have our marketing reimbursement. Reimburse $200 for every $100,000 of indexed annuity premium you write through IMES. So if you are using a seminar system or if you're using a mailing system, anything you use to get in front of clients, maybe you're buying clients their meals, doing a dinner type situation, we'll reimburse you half your cost, and then you have a separate account set up based on your referral dollars that you've earned through your production, and we always reimburse half of what you actually spend towards that marketing. So a great way for us to have, give you help based on your marketing costs. We have, a piece of the pie there based on your actual costs that you incur out there in the field. So a great way for you to be able to expand your marketing and have IMES help pay for that expansion. So definitely something to take advantage of. I know we have agents that continually send us billings based on their seminars they're doing. Maybe they're doing a mailing, maybe they're using a telemarketer. We're always sending checks out based on those expenses. So definitely something to take a look at. We also have Matt Neal that works in our office. He is in charge of our creative services team. They have a bundle of programs that you can choose from based on your marketing needs. Maybe you want to just do the basic package. You need new business cards, you need development on your logo for your company. Maybe you need some new letterhead. He'll help you with that. If you want to do a online marketing program via website, we can help you set up a website based on production. We've got sample radio advertising, sample TV advertising. So a lot of different things you can take advantage based on your level of production. And Matt has a really good background on developing these programs, and he does a lot of social media advertising. Maybe you want to get your name out on there on LinkedIn, or maybe you want to use Facebook to your advantage. He has some good ideas for you to do that social networking that you can use in the field to get in front of more clients. And Matt's been doing this with us for a couple of years now. He's had numerous years of experience on advertising side. So great chance to get your name out there more often, have IMES help you with that development of those lead programs, help you with your marketing for your business. We can do all that for you. So definitely give Matt a call. He'd be glad to go over his programs with you. And again, Matt Neal is your contact on the creative solutions side, and definitely something to take advantage on your end. We also have what we call our Annuity Alternative. It is a single premium life program. And I know that we've seen a good balance of single premium life business coming in this year. We've seen a number of agents selling on that side. If you'd like to get additional information on what IMES has to offer in the single premium life side of the business, we'd be glad to get that out to you as quickly as possible. With single premium life, you can earn a little bit higher commissions There's not as much suitability requirements required these days. You got return of premium options. You've got guaranteed interest rate returns. We've got free withdrawals available on these contracts. We've got a couple really good companies we do most of our business with right now. We're using Baltimore Life and Equitrust seem to be our two biggest companies on the single premium life side of the market. We do have plans that are available up to age 85 in that age group based on single premium life. They've got tax deferral advantages. They've also got, of course, tax-free death benefits that are available versus on the life insurance. So if that's something you have interest in. I know Mark Raymakers heads up our life department. He's a great individual to talk to on specific clients. Maybe a client that is not the healthiest of individual. You want to know if they're going to qualify for life insurance. Mark's a great go-to guy on that. We also have regularly underwritten programs. Maybe your client's very healthy. They can go through regular underwriting and get a bigger death benefit based on their health. He could also run up those examples for you. So really have a really good spectrum of plans available on the life end. So if that's something you want to take advantage of, Mark Raymakers is a great contact on that end, and he'd be glad to run up any sample quotes you may need on that side. So if you do want to take a look at some additional information on single premium life, mark yes off on this vote right here. We'd be glad to get that taken care of for you and get you additional details on what we offer on that end. If you need quotes done, we're glad to get the quotes. We can do comparison quotes between a couple, 3 different carriers, find the best death benefit for your client, or maybe find the best plan based on their health concerns. So that'd be something to take a look at on our end. We are offering our caddies and casinos this year. This is our latest trip we're offering through IMES. This is based on Athene production and Athene annuity production specifically. So if you're running business with Athene with us currently, you do have to the end of December to qualify for the trip. It is a 14-month qualification period. You can qualify for one individual with 1.25 million credits. You can qualify yourself and a guest with 1.75 million credits. I know we're going to have a really good time out in Las Vegas on this trip. It's a great chance for you to get out of the cold weather, go out and play some golf in some nice conditions out there in Vegas. If you're a gambler, there's some good gambling programs out there with all their different casinos out in Vegas. So I know we're going to be staying at the Four Seasons at Mandalay Bay. Really nice hotel there on the Vegas Strip. So if that's something you have interested in attending, now's the time to get your qualification dollars in. You do have about 2 months left to qualify for that, November and December of this year. And it should be a great trip had by all. So definitely keep that on your top of your gamut there based on that scenario. Once again, we are glad to have Dave Pemper joining us this morning. He'll be going over the Social Security claiming strategies and some great seminar marketing situations that he has available to you. Great system he's put together and a great chance for you to increase your marketing and also increase your sales opportunities. So once again, Dave, glad to have you on this morning. Are you with us this morning, Dave?
I am, Matt. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Good. Yeah, and I appreciate everyone being on the line with us. Are you going to give me the controls, or are you?
Yeah, I can get those over to you. Let me go ahead and do that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much, Matt, for kind of a background, a little bit on IAMS. FMO, been in the same ownership business since 1986, so for a long time under the same ownership. So I appreciate everyone being online with us. We're talking about Social Security claiming today. It's a complicated subject. Not a lot of advisors and certainly not a lot of the public know much about Social Security claiming. So this is really two-part in the next half an hour or 40 minutes. What we're going to do is first give you some insights on kind of a simplistic way to understand Social Security claiming, some of the more common in and outs. And the second thing is, how could you market this to your advantage using seminar marketing? Just to give you just a little bit about myself, My name is Dave Pimper, 61 years old, been in the business for 35 years since 1981. Started with insurance for a couple, 3 years, and then got into brokerage. And right now I probably do 3/4 or 2/3 of my business with conventional securities products and fee-based fee-based products, and then the other quarter to a third is in fixed indexed annuities from the guaranteed standpoint. So really kind of work both ends of it. Seminars for myself and for a lot of the other guys and gals that have used that in the last years, they've been successful. And one of the reasons is you can get in front of a lot of people and give one presentation, and then take right at the seminar itself, you're taking the Matt, for some reason I'm not on mine. I'm not showing any screen on mine for some reason. So just to let you know that.
Okay, let me go back here.
Yeah. So if there's questions today, as Matt's just getting the webinar on the PowerPoint presentation up, there we go. Yeah, that's there. And then you can give me the controls. It'd be wonderful. What happens is, if there's any questions, certainly type those in, and Matt will read those, and I will answer those for you. And
when I tried to change it to you, Dave, it didn't work. So you may just click through the slides on my side.
Yeah, if you could, that's great. Yeah. So, okay, good. Yeah. So what baby boomers need to know about maximizing retirement income: know this, that only 3% of the John-Q public know anything about Social Security claiming. They really don't understand it, and that's what really gives the tremendous opportunity to be able to be the educator. We go to the next slide. Who we're really focusing on from an age group are from ages 58 to 67. And what happens is that 58 to 67, remember, that's the pre-retirement and just retired marketplace. But when people come into this workshop, there's questions that they have in the back of their mind. When should I apply for benefits? What's the best age to apply for benefits? How or can I coordinate benefits with my spouse? If I take early, how much will the deduction be? If I delay, how much more will I earn? How much will it grow? There's survivor benefits. There's divorce benefits. There could be. The new Social Security law, the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, it did affect file and suspend and restricted, but how did it affect it? And one of the questions that people are asking over and over and over, does this really make any difference? Because I know it's going bankrupt. Will it even be there for me down the road for Social Security? And that's a valid question, though not true, but it is a valid question. Okay, we go to the next slide. Now, with Social Security, we're seeing more and more articles like this. This happens to come from a Kiplinger retirement report in December of last year. This was on the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, Popular Social Security Strategies Nixed. I love that headline because neither one were nixed. One went out in 6 months. One goes out in 8 years. So they're nixed eventually. I mean, eventually I'll die. Yeah, my life will be nixed. But again, that's a kind of an attention grabber for people to read it. But we never used to see stuff in the paper like this. We can go to the next slide. Now, Social Security, you're going to hear about maximization or optimization, but why seminars? Why get the information out to a large group of people? First of all, the information is timely. Very few people understand Social Security claiming. Only 14% of agents or advisors in the financial arena know something about Social Security claiming. Now, the new Social Security law, remember that Bipartisan Budget Act ruling last year that went through? Yeah, people want to know about that. The age group, if you like working pre-retireds and retired, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful age group to work. Those are the folks that have that rollover retirement money or are at the height of their earnings and probably have the most available investment money. This type of workshop is more educational. One of the reasons is it's not as sales-ish, and the reason is we are not luring them in with a meal, or dangling that meal in front of them. They're coming in because they want to learn. So people who come to those very well may not go to a dinner workshop. And do I still do dinner workshops outside of Social Security? I do. I'm giving one here in about a month's time, but of one of my other seminars that I put together, I had it FINRA reviewed. But this is a non-dinnered workshop. Okay. Now, could you use a dinner with it? Yeah, you could. You probably get a little higher response, but you have the cost of the dinner and the kind of person that comes to more of a social event than educational event. I always say the prospects that come to this type of presentation need us. They need us more than we need them. I don't think that's probably true, but they'll hunt you down to get the Social Security report. Pretty high conversion rate for setting up appointments, and that transitioning from Social Security and income planning, to closing the business. So what happens is, this is not a bait and switch. I mean, I've had people say, hey, you're just baiting and switching them. You're bringing them in for Social Security, and then you're selling them investments or fixed indexed or insurance. You know what? That's a very poor way to look at it. Social Security is prominent within a person's retirement income planning picture. So you've got wages or part-time wages. You've got pensions if you're fortunate enough to have one. You've got income-producing assets. If they're part of those are qualified, then you've got to figure out where your RMDs will lie at the age of 70 and a half. And then how Social Security really goes in and complements those other investments. And if uncovering that, they've got questions or they brought statements in or they're unhappy with their broker, unhappy with their investment, want advice, that certainly opens up to a professional like ourselves, looking at it from a holistic standpoint of what we can do for them. Yeah. So I think it very much fits into that plan. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Now, talking about baby boomers, will it be there for me? Yeah, it will. I'm going to tell you right now that it will. And one of the interesting things is when you go in and look at Social Security, and I said, do you think that it ran a deficit or a surplus last year? Most people off the top of their head would say a deficit, but it didn't. It ran about a $25 billion surplus. When's the last time Social Security ran a deficit? 1983. I got in the business in 81. I was only in business for 2 years. It's a long time ago. Yeah. Now, will it in the next 4 or 5 years run a deficit? Yes, it will. And then it will pick up steam pretty quickly. There's $2.8 trillion in the trust fund. And remember, that trust fund has been borrowed from the U.S. government. So people say there's really nothing hard asset. There's nothing. There's not gold there or silver or actual hard assets. But you know what? What backs the U.S. dollar? An IOU from our U.S. government. What backs government bonds? And that's really what the trust fund is, an IOU. So unless the government goes under, which the naysayers might say it will, but it won't. We're here for the next many years. Strongest strongest country in the world as far as financials. Yeah, Social Security is going to be there. Going to be some changes? Yeah, there will be. Whether you're Democrat or Republican or independent, yeah, no doubt that nobody wants to do it, but there has to be some changes to secure it up. So let's just talk about Social Security Claiming 101. There's 3 dates or 3 times ages in a person's life that are important to Social Security. There is the first date you can claim Social Security. What age or date is that? Age of 62, correct. What's the last the age that you don't want to go past before you take Social Security, otherwise you'll lose the benefit for the time you don't take it, 70. So you can take as early as 62, you can take as late as 70. And then there's a date in the middle, that's an age. That's called your full retirement age, or also called normal retirement age, but FRA, full retirement age. And if you were born from 1943 to 1954, so from January the 2nd through December the 31st, if you're born in those years, from 43 to 54, your full retirement age is 66. The majority of the people that come to a workshop mailing right now will be full retirement age of 66. Now, I'm 61 years old, so I was born in April of 55. Well, mine's 66 years and 2 months. And then every year up to 1960, add 2 more months. So full retirement age, the earliest you can take full retirement right now is 66. The latest you can take full retirement, for your full retirement age is 67. Okay? So everything with Social Security, the benefit is taken from the full retirement age. If you take early, you're going to go on in and you're going to take a discount. Okay? So if you take early, so if you take at 62, there's a 25% discount from the age of 66. If you have a $1,000 benefit, it's going to be $750 at the age of 62. $2,000 benefit, 25% less, $1,500 benefit. And so what happens is that if you wait later than 66 and you delay, then your benefit's going to go up. How much does it go up? 8% a year. 8% a year. If you have a $1,000 benefit, you're going to get $1,080 the next year.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
What percentage of people take it at 62?
44%.
44%. It's pretty big.
Get a load of this, Matt. What do you think the percentage of the people that wait to 70 for the biggest benefit they can take?
10%.
Less than 3.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what? See, we're in our society is a give it to me now society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every fast food restaurant. I'll never forget in Omaha when, I don't know if you remember this, Matt, but when McDonald's came on Dodge Street, that you'd have been pretty young because you're just a youngster.
That's
but
right.
They came in the early 60s, maybe 64, 65 was the very first McDonald's. It was on Dodge Street, about 72nd in Dodge, which was way west Dodge. I remember my dad was an electrical engineer and had a car dealership at the time, and he said, Dave, this concept will never work. Families want to eat together for dinner.
Boy, was he wrong.
Yeah, he died without McDonald's stock in his portfolio.
I bet he did.
Bad. But see, what happens is that people, here's what happens is there are reasons for people to take early at 62 or 63 or 64. There are reasons. What would be a reason? Well, the reason would be if your health was bad. Yeah. You don't want to wait if you're going to, why wait? And you have to, there's a break even if you wait to 66 at a certain age or 70 at a certain age. Well, what happens is if you die early or you got bad genes or you have to have the money, those are all good reasons to take early. But you know what? Of that 44% that do take at 62, the earliest they can, at least over half of those people take out of ignorance. They take because they just don't know any better. And they hurt themselves to do that. Yeah. But good question. So if there's any others, just bring them on up. So what happens is, full retirement age, from full retirement age, if you take early, it's discounted. You get less. You get a benefit now, but you get less. If you wait, it grows. It grows 8% a year. But what happens is that you're going to get more if you delay. So is it always better to delay? No. It's like I said, there could be reasons to take it early or take it on time. A lot of it depends on your financial needs. But I'll say right now, if your prospect or your client has a fair amount of income. See, I live in the Midwest. We're pretty frugal here. So if you've got $300,000-$400,000 worth of assets, you many times you could take those assets, use it as income between 66 and 70, and then turn on your benefit at the age of 70. You also could put it into some kind of a financial product insurance product that has an income rider. So it pays them a guaranteed income for that time period or later. But remember, if a lot of it's qualified retirement money, at 70.5, you have to figure in that they will start taking money from their RMDs. They have to take money. They have to, or they have a 50% penalty. It's amazing, one of the largest penalties in the financial arena. So what you're really doing here from a holistic standpoint, you are looking at their wages, their pensions, their income-producing assets, RMD distributions, how Social Security goes in and benefits or kind of correlates to those income streams, and that conduit is going to be the most flexible financial income conduit that you have of those 4 or 5 or 6 income streams. Now, like I said, if you take early, there's a discount. If you take 4 years early, there's a 25% discount. If you take 4 years early, there's a 20% discount. So another way to look at this is from 62. If you delay 1 year, it goes up 5%. Okay, so it goes up 5%, and then 6.7, 6.8, 6.7, and that's 25% over 4 years. Go to the next slide. And then if you wait longer than 66, then it's 8% a year simple. So if you have a $2,000 benefit and you wait 1 year, it grows 8%. 8% of 2,000, 160. 160 on 2,000, 2,160 bucks. Yeah.
So do you think they're going to move that age up from age 70, Dave?
Yeah, what they'll do is eventually I think they will go in and move because you know what, when Social Security came out in 1935, the full retirement age was 65.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally that got moved in 1943 up to 66, and now in 93, 67. And so but people are living, you know what, the average age of a person that took Social Security out back in the 30s, the average age when they were dying was around 62 or 63. Now the average age is way into the 70s, if not early 80s, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
So that's the easiest thing to do, is to raise this 67 full retirement age to 68, 9, or 70.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say this in my seminars. You know Sam. You've met Sam before. He's 24 years old.
Right.
Single, enjoying having fun at the sporting events where you've seen him. But if I was with Sam right now and I said, Sam, you're 24, but when you fully retire, they're going to raise your full retirement age from 67 to 70.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to raise it 3 years. You know what he'd say to me, Matt? Give me another beer.
Yes, he would. He wouldn't care.
He could care less. That's right.
That's right.
Now you say that to Matt Tour, who I'm talking with right now, or Dave Pimper.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're getting closer to full retire. We're getting close to that retirement age. So you're a little further from me, but they're not going to really. If you're probably 56, 57 or older, I know you're not that old yet, but older, they're probably not going to touch your Social Security. Could you be better? Could you have a factor for yourself come into play in the next 4 or 5 years? You could, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to touch the people who are about ready to retire or less than a retirement age benefit right now. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Next slide. Good. Okay. Next slide. Spousal benefits. So this is kind of, again, remember, if you have any questions, certainly type them in, and Matt will bring those up.
Got a question that came up, Dave. How many Social Security seminars have you done in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I do. I've got Social Security that I do every other month. And then I've got a 401k IRA rollover seminar that I put together, had it FINRA reviewed. It's proprietary to IAMS. I do that every other month. And then every 5th month, I do one also that has been FINRA reviewed, and I put it together called 8 Potential Mistakes Retirees Make with Their Money. It gears a little more around the fixed indexed annuity. There's 7 or 8 slides around that, but it's a financial planning seminar. So in a year, I do them every month. Mm-hmm. And so I'll do 5, 6, and then I'll do 5 or 6 mailings times 2. So I'll do 10 or 12 Social Securities every year.
Good. Yeah. I just launched a poll for those that would like to get some more information on Dave's Social Security program and the things he's offering on that side, along with some of the other programs Dave has to offer. If you'd like to get those, I just put a poll up on the system here where you can check off yes and we'll go ahead and have, is it Craig from Dave's office
Yeah.
will
Yep.
contact you, set up is it a half an hour free
Yep. Half an hour.
program?
Yeah, and what we do in that half an hour is talk about anything that you want to talk about from the financial service arena, but hopefully it's around marketing, it's around seminars, hopefully around Social Security, or maybe one of the other seminar programs that we have. This one is really the only one out of the three or four that we work with. It's really the only one that we buy an outside third-party vendor for the PowerPoint, and that's through Horse's Mouth, which is up in New York. They're very good. I mean, for $500, I think they charge $512 a year to be able to participate. They have the software also, and they've got online newsletters and podcasts, and they have a lot of information for $500. I didn't feel like I thought that was a bargain. I thought it was going to be hard for me to reproduce that. Not that we never will, but it's a good one. And
Sure.
so what happens is if they mark yes, and mark yes or no. I mean, if it's no, you're not going to hear from us. But if you mark yes, Craig or Amy, one of my two administrators, will call you, get a good time for me and you. But a lot of people right now are having trouble getting in front of enough qualified prospects. And you know what's pretty neat about Social Security? One thing is, I mean, we want to bring new prospects and bring them with clients because you're helping them, and we get compensated by showing them great strategies from the financial arena, but also giving them great information on Social Security. The second really plus of that is that you're going to learn Social Security claiming. You get there's 5 sessions taught by myself. They last around 45 minutes each. There's around 30 attachments over the 5 sessions that you do receive from me, and you can print those on out. But I don't do it unless we're going to show a seminar, because Social Security information alone doesn't make us any money. If it was just knowledge that made us money, then every engineer, every scientist, every doctor would be great investment advisors or financial planners. But of course they're not. What happens though is just Social Security information alone does not bring in money, okay, from compensation. It's showing them Social Security, explaining it to them, and then how you can help them, with their other financial strategies to align with Social Security. That's the most important thing. And that transitioning language is important. And we talked quite a bit in our 5th session about the transitioning from Social Security to an actual financial product itself. So we'll leave this up here just a little bit longer, but if you'd like more information from me, want to talk to me, bounce some things off of me, been in the business for a long time, got a good background, starting in 1981, so that's 30 plus years. But I know from the background of both the fixed index side and of course the security side, and a little bit from information talking about the new Department of Labor law, talking about fixed index annuities being part of the best interest contract exemption. If that's Greek to you, you want to maybe mark yes on there also. I can give you a little bit of insight of what to expect. And business will go on, but it is going to change some. There's no doubt about it. It is going to change a little bit. So we're going to take this down in about 10 seconds. So if you'd like more information from me, you might want to mark yes. And Matt, is there anything you want to say about from a coaching standpoint or Social Security before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what little people know about, Social Security benefits when they're about ready to retire. They've been putting money in for 40 plus years. You think they'd know more about, what their benefits could be, how they work, what the deferral does for them based on that. But when they attend Dave's seminar, I mean, a lot of people are coming in green where they don't know a lot about the way it works. And Dave helps them get that next step taken care of. And of course, Dave working on both the security side and the insurance side, he's an expert on both sides. And Dave's done a great job on helping these individuals out, the ones that need additional income for their retirement and the ones that need to change around their investments, based on what they've got the money in today, how secure it is based on what they want to have the money for down the road. And then, the people that Dave has coached over the years have used a lot of Dave's expertise and really multiplied their production out and done some great things with their production in the field. And a lot of it has to do with what Dave's taught them through his systems. So definitely worth your while, and it's not a lot of money to work with Dave. And we've got a coaching scholarship we give based on being licensed through IMS. We pay for over half of the cost for Dave's programs. I mean, we feel that, investing some time with Dave is really going to pay off for you in the long run. And we give scholarships to help pay for the seminar systems, help pay for the education and the weekly phone times you have with Dave. So really a good time spent for you, and we feel like it's a great investment on your time and our money to help expand your production. So definitely worth your time overall. And I'll go ahead and close this poll up. I do appreciate everybody that voted today for the program there, and we'll be in touch the next week or two with Dave's group there.
Good. So as we continue here, again, type in if you've got any questions for me. Let's talk about spousal benefit. Now, again, this is taken from kind of the average from a simplistic standpoint, but the spousal benefit, let's just say that you got John and Jane, and that PIA, under the example, stands for primary insurance amount. Social Security claiming has a lot of acronyms like FRA, full retirement age, PIA, primary insurance amount. This is the amount at full retirement age for your benefit, okay? So what happens is John's PIA is $2,000 at 66. Let's just say Jane is 66 also, his wife. Her PIA, primary insurance amount, is $800. So let's say they both are going to take their benefit. So John's going to take his $2,000, Jane's going to take her $800. John is the higher benefit of the two, so he's going to get $2,000, but Jane can either take all of hers or half of the spouse, which either is higher. Well, what's higher, 800 or 1,000? Half of 2,000, 1,000's higher. She gets a top up of $200. Okay? Now let's say Jane never worked outside the home. She was always a stay-at-home mom. She worked at charity work, volunteer. She never made enough. She didn't make her 40 quarterly credits. Her 40 quarterly credits are basically 10 years of work. And right now, it's about $5,100 in a year gets you 44 quarterly credits, okay? So what happens is she earned nothing. As long as John took his, yeah, she could take all of hers or half of John's. Well, all of hers is zero, and half of hers is zero, and half of John's is 1,000. Still be the very same thing. She could still make exactly the same money. So I say, gosh, all those years of work just went to waste. No, they kind of go back into the Social Security system. Okay, that's how it works. So just remember this, is that the whole Social Security back in the 30s through FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, when he started this in 1935 and the first check to Ida Mae Fuller in 1940, the reason this was set up is at that time after the Great Depression, or during the Great Depression, single women had a poverty rate of about 70% in the United States. This is a social program, and so it's supposed to protect the people who need the money the most. Does it certainly help higher income people? Absolutely. But it doesn't help them percentage of their income nearly of what it does a bit of a lower income person. Now, there are limits. Know this, that at $118,500 this year, if you make above that, you don't put any Social Security money in. That's 1.45% on your income, 1.45% on your employer's. That throws us 2.9%. Now, if you're self-employed, like a lot of people are in the insurance business, we pay both sides of that. I always used to think that we got rooked on that, but now I don't. I do understand that they need that 2.9, and we get a lot of benefits being self-employed of write-offs and legal write-offs and things that we can do and deductions that the average worker that works for someone does not get. But this is one where we put money on in. If you make above $118,500, you don't put into those payroll taxes anymore. You do with Medicare, but you don't with Social Security. Next year that it raises. It didn't raise the last year, but now next year goes from 118.5 to 127.5. So anyone who makes up to 127,500 will be paying into Social Security. And that's the majority of the workforce. Not many people. You know, the average person makes above 127,500. Okay? So divorced spouse benefits. Here's the triple play. If you were married for at least 10 years, you're currently unmarried, and your ex-spouse is at least 62, you can go in, as long as you are at least 62 also, could claim, you can use your ex-spouse virtually as if you are still married to them. You don't need their permission. It doesn't affect their benefit. You can both take from each other. Normally you can't take double dip and take each other's spousal benefit, but you can with the divorced spouse if both of you were unmarried and both of you are over 62. Yeah, you can do that. So pretty cool, pretty neat. So a lot of people don't even understand that a divorced spouse benefit is still available. Okay, next slide. Now, when we're talking about survivor benefits, that's after somebody dies. And again, there are some variations to this. But let's say you got Joe and Julie. They're both over full retirement. Joe's benefits $2,000, Julie's is $1,200. It could be Joe's benefits $2,000, Julie's is $800. Well, would be $1,000 to be the least because half of what Joe's is. But in this case, it's $1,200. Joe dies. Now, Julie has the option. She can keep her $1,200 benefit, or she can go to the Social Security Administration and she can see if she can jump it up to $2,000, meaning take Joe's benefit, which is not automatic. She has to request it, but then once she requests it, then it's guaranteed. She could take all of hers or all of her husband's, whoever has the higher benefit. If you don't request it, you don't get it. A lot of people haven't requested it. And I guess Social Security Administration, they probably kind of like that because there's less payment that is paid out. Okay, next slide. So that's your survivor benefits. All right. Now, coordinating spousal benefits, we can go to the next slide. What happened is the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015 came into play. So on that Bipartisan Budget Act, basically file and suspend phased out after a 6-month holding period. So on May 1 of this year, if you hadn't filed and suspend, it's done. So we're not going to talk about file and suspend. But restricted application had an 8-year phase out. Doesn't phase out until the beginning of 2024, 1/1/24. So what happens is, and what's interesting is January 1 for Social Security claiming is always looked at as the previous year. That's why the new year doesn't start until the 2nd of the year. So in 2017, if you go in and you were born on 1/1/2017, as far as the Social Security is claimed as you were born in 2016. Kind of interesting. But how does restricted application work? Well, let's go to the next slide and I'll kind of explain to you. It might be filed suspend on the next slide. We might have to jump to the slide after that. So let's take a look. Yeah, let's go to the next slide real quick, Matt. Because that's done now. You cannot file and suspend anymore. Everyone's heard of file and suspend. Even though a lot of people don't understand what it does, not many people have heard of restricted application, how it works. But I'll just let you know, if the wife has got any kind of a benefit, restricted application is almost always going to be a higher benefit for Social Security than file and suspend. Even though we hear about file and suspend much more, 85% of the time that I recommend the best spousal benefit, it was restricted application, and that had the most liberal kind of definition of letting it last over a length of time period on the Bipartisan Budget Act. So how does restricted application work? So here we go. Mike's PIA is $2,000 and Mary's PIA is $800. Remember that? Remember, if Mike takes his, then Mary can go in and take all of hers or half of his, whichever is higher, right? But what happens if Mike doesn't take his? He wants to delay his, he's still working, he wants to delay the retirement credit so he can get the 8% per year. Well, Mary can't take half of his until Mike takes his. So Mary would only get $800 until Mike eventually turned it on. Say he turns it on at 70. Now Mary will get a bump up of $200. What's interesting about this is, though, if Mike at age 66, it has to be full retirement age or later, but if he restricts his application, what that means in the eyes of Social Security Administration is that he has started. He broke through the glass. He started his Social Security. Now he restricts it, so he stops he gets no payment coming in. He stops it. So in the eyes of Social Security, he has started it, and then he stops it. What that does is he's able to get his 8% delayed retirement credit, DRC, delayed retirement credit of 8% a year. Now Mary, instead of having only to take $800, she could take $800 or half of his, whichever is higher. That $200 that she gets because he restricted it and still getting his 8% delayed retirement credit, that $200 is free money. $200 times 12 is $4,800 a year, $19,200 over 4 years. That's a lot of money. But to restrict your application, you have to be at least 62 by the end of last year. Like I'm 61 right now. I lost out on restricted application. I lost out on about $20,000 worth of benefits with my wife because I'm too young. It's just one of those things. But if you're if the person, they both don't have to be 62. It's just the person claiming has to be at least 62 by the end of last year. Now you have to wait until your full retirement age of 66 to do it, so there would still be 4 more years of wait. But he can do it anytime he's 66 or later. This benefit, as long as you're 62 by the end of last year, this benefit has not changed in any way from where the benefit was before. And that's the benefit between file and suspend and restricted application that we used 85% of the time. Pretty cool. So remember that Kiplinger article from December of 2015 that said strategies next? Well, next if you're too young. Yeah, next if you're too young. But as long as you're old enough, this benefit, has a leg on it to January 1 of 2024. The Social Security Administration in Omaha, Nebraska, where my closest office is, over by Old Mill, I call it Baskin Robbins on steroids. You go in there, you pick a number, and you wait. And it's a zoo, believe me. But here's what they can do. They can estimate individual benefits, the best benefit you're entitled to, the highest benefit right now. What they cannot do, they can't scenario plan. Talk about your budgeting, what income you got coming in, what kind of expenses. They can't do that. Okay, they can't be a financial advisor. What they cannot do, they can't offer you advice. Is that unbelievable? So when you go into the Social Security Administration, you say, I got a question about Social Security claiming. They may say, hey, I can't give you advice on that. Or, yeah, would this be better or would this be better? They can't give advice. If I go to the next slide, Matt, this is pretty interesting. This comes right from the Social Security claiming guide. Their guide, okay, that the people at the Social Security have. Taking the claim, number D, it says, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. That blows me away. That's bizarre. Can you imagine here in my office, Dave Pemper, investment advisor representative. So the person comes in and says, can you give me some investment advisory information? No, nope. I can give you a lot of advice, but I can't give you advice on that. But see, that is funny. Yeah, it's bizarre. They don't want the responsibility. They don't want the liability. Okay, taking the claim, cannot give advice. Okay, you can get to the next slide. Matt, if any questions, certainly type them on in, and we will answer those for you. The actual slide does not have the yellow evaluation form, but I put this on here to show you when you go through this it's 5 pillars of income. Okay. But what happens is that this really sets up the appointment, because you're saying of how work and pensions, income producing assets, RMDs, how all of those are probably pretty inflexible. Can't change those much. I mean, if you're making $50,000 a year and you work for the company for 30 years and you got 2 years left, they're going to probably jump you from 50 to 80,000. No, they're going to give you your 2% raise or 3% raise or none at all. Pensions are pretty much set in. Your RMDs are what they are. Your income producing assets, whatever you mean, now the market could change them, but as far as if you've got 400,000 in your 401k, no, in 2 or 3 years it's not going to jump to 600,000 from added money. But Social Security, get a load of this, in the 8 years, if you count the cost of living, that's with every single benefit with Social Security, no matter if it's a primary benefit, a spousal benefit, divorce benefit, disability benefit, whatever the benefit is, if there is cost of living increase, you get it. But from the age of 62 to 70, if you wait and delay Social Security, your benefit can raise, anywhere from 40 to 50% with cost of living. Incredible. Just one of the most, you can start it when you want to. It's one of the most flexible of all those income streams. It really is the most flexible. But what I always say here is it's how it complements. I might say in a workshop that Social Security claiming is one of the worst water cooler conversations there are. Hey, Frank, I took it 62 and you should too. I mean, it's so unique. That's like saying, hey, Frank, my favorite color is violet and yours should be too. No, it's a personal choice. And that's what you do on the one-on-one consultation. You go in and see what their personal choices are when it comes to how you can benefit them with Social Security claiming. It's a good system. You give a lot of great information to the people, and in turn, some of those people will do business with you because, business is built on likability and trust. And I had one person say, hey, the reason we're doing business with you with this money, they kept their original broker, but they said, the other broker, right, we asked him the question, he said, go to the Social Security Administration and ask them. No, they want answers from their advisors. And with the coaching and with the seminars and the kind of the practice that you'll get, you'll get very, very good with this medium. Okay, next slide, please. And I do always say type in if you have any questions. So, Horse's Mouth, third party, costs $512. Elaine Floyd can answer questions. I certainly can also get calculators. There's actually 3 PowerPoints. The PowerPoint I use, he uses their slides. I have added and subtracted a little bit from that to make it a little more user-friendly. No doubt that the analysis, the report, the colorful report that shows, what's some of the best timing for them under their circumstances to take, it kind of hooks the appointment. And we go to the next slide. When you're talking about that appointment, one of the things of having myself as a coach is there's 5 coaching sessions. I've had over 420 public seminars since the middle 80s. But what I do is to, make a complicated subject to make it just much easier to understand. Okay? 5 one-on-ones with myself, so it's not with another broker or one of my assistants, it's with myself, and we're going to go and, there's some reading, there's some books you need to order, 3 paperback books, cost you about $10 each. There's a book by about 200 pages that is from Horse's Mouth. So if you're not willing to do some studying to learn, then you don't want to do this, because there is, I would say the first month, 10 to 12 hours a week devoted to Social Security, and you will really have the hang of it when you start showing it to the people. It's a turnkey system, A through Z. We spell it all out for you. You get everything from everything we use, our letters, our approach letters, what we say when we call them, the evaluation sheets, how we set up this seminar room, and of course Craig and Amy are always here that we can help you too. No meals, proven transition language. The third thing down here, or the second sub, easier to understand, 30 attachments. Those 30 attachments a lot of those are articles, a lot of those are letters we mail out, some of those are the questionnaires that we have at the Social Security of writing things up. Yeah, pretty pretty intensive of the information you get. And the nice thing is once you coach with me, you can always call me, email me on any question that you have, not just with Social Security, but other questions too. Being in the business for the length I have, both from brokerage and from the insurance side, was my own RIA for almost 10 years. Yeah, just got a lot of background. Was with a big broker dealer out of New York on their advisory board. 7 of us in the field with the big wigs for 7 years. So I've just done a lot of different things, and I'm a pretty good guy to bounce things off of for information. Okay, and as we're kind of finishing it up here on this next slide, it's interesting talking about procrastination, but what you don't want to do is procrastinate. And there's a saying that says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop tomorrow. And you know what? Tomorrow never comes, does it? Don't let it happen to you. If you saw something today that you like, you saw something today that you maybe could increase your production, get you more familiar with Social Security so you can truly help people. I think that'll help you in the new Department of Labor ruling also from a holistic standpoint, understanding Social Security. Yeah. And hopefully you marked yes. Hopefully we'll talk. Hopefully I'll go in and give you some good insight, and maybe you can become a client and learn a lot more about Social Security and the seminar system to market it. And I'll throw that back to you, Matt.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thanks everyone for their time this morning. We've tried to keep these to an hour or less based on the time frame that we have available, and appreciate Dave's information today. I know the Social Security side of the market space right now is very popular right now in the seminar still, and a lot of people are still trying to figure out what they can do with their Social Security dollars to maximize their income over their lifetime. So, it's still a great time to go out and give these seminars. With Dave's expertise, he can guide you through from day one all the way through the seminar itself. Getting the appointments with the people, he can do the whole thing with you. So, if it is something you have some interest in, and as we mentioned, we took that little survey earlier, we'll be in contact with you in the next few days and set up an appointment with Dave's office and be able to work it from there. Otherwise, hope everybody has a great election day today, and appreciate your time, appreciate the business this year. We look forward to a really good end of the year here for 2016, and look forward to a great 2017. Anything you want to finish off with, Dave, this morning?
No, but thank you for taking your time. Hope be able to talk with a lot of you, but have a very productive week.
You do the same, Dave, and otherwise we'll talk to everyone soon, and everyone have a great week. Bye now.
Sounds great, guys.
All right. See ya.